So Emma, this is the 5th film, and this carries on from the arm resting against the wall. So in this position, just check that your arm is fully extended right up, and that you can see the thumb in front of you, just peripherally. Again, you're making sure that you're not too close, but that you're not too far away, so you can really lengthen the arm up, yeah? And we'll take the arm down, because then I want to show you a way that you can bring the arm up through using all the joints. So again, it slides down. So this is the end of the 2nd film that we're repeating. Again, it flips around to the back. You point your fingers out horizontally as the arm slides down, and direct the fingers down now. The thumb and the forefinger are the last parts of the hand to touch the wall. They come in down by the side, so you can feel that opening. Lovely. And then it will just turn in and hang. Now already that arm feels different, but we're going to step away so that we can show how we're going to work with this arm for the next film, which is film number 5. Again, we're making use of that rotation, so the arm rotates only from below the elbow. You're using that freedom of the wrist to lengthen it up, bring it round, and then the fingers circle round and rest. They're just dropping down from the wrist. And then again, you're rotating. Now this rotation happens in the new plane, so it's rotating again only in the elbow. That does mean that you open the hand, yeah. And then again, you're reaching round, freeing that wrist to lengthen up. The elbow comes up a little more, and then you're just resting the hand. That's lovely. Again, that rotation, that means you do move the hand. And now into the wrist to circle round. Fingertips help the arm up, and dropping down in the wrist. Again, this way you can feel the arm working through the back each time. The rotation, again, that circling and opening with the wrist, lengthening up, and just one more time to rest. So now the hand is above the head. Just check that the weight is back on the heels. You haven't come too far forward. So there's a balance between that arm resting in the air, so to speak, and the weight through the foot. And then this is the last rotation, the circling of the wrist. And it's the fingers now that bring the arm up to its full length. You can just stand there with the arm resting into the back. So it's falling down the back through to the legs, almost as if it's resting in the air. And then you're freeing the elbow. Again, you're thinking about that wrist as it comes out, the full length down, hangs down by the side, and then that final rotation in that elbow joint to let it hang by the side. What you have to be a bit careful is that we don't favour leaning to the other leg or the other part of the back, so you're on both legs. That's lovely. Great, now we're going to do it the other side so that you can see the other side. So we're going to swap, yeah? We'll come back, just check the time. Again, we're starting as if we've finished that 2nd film, so the arm is up. Just checking that we're parallel to where the arm is resting, and it's fully extended there, and you're back on both feet. Yeah, remember that vertical line working all the way through from the feet to the head, so there's no lean towards the arm. And then we're just freeing the elbow, flipping round the back. So this is the last part of film number 2. And it's the thumb and forefinger which come down. So they've got a fully extended arm that's nice and open without shortening the shoulder. Lovely. And then it's the thumb, which is the last thing to drop down. Lovely. Then we take our step out again, just so that you can practice this one. And it's the same procedure with the other arm. So it's that rotation only from the elbow joint, that sliding joint. For that you need to open up the palm and lengthen the fingers. Lovely. You get that full length of that inside of the arm. And then you're freeing up the wrist. Great. And it's that free lengthening up of the wrist, the whole hand, bringing it round, rotating it through and resting. Lovely. Again, there's that rotation and then that freeing of the wrist to circle up and lengthen down. Good. Very good. And then that same rotation in that elbow joint. Of course, you're using the hand now, but not so much the wrist. This is where the wrist comes into play, and open and lengthen through. Yeah. And then the rotation again. Here's where that freedom of the wrist opening up comes to lengthen it up. Jolly good. And, excuse me, and just lengthening it through. And then here's the last one, so there's that rotation. Think of it really working in that elbow joint. Then the play of the wrist up and then lengthening it up. Very good. And that's good. Now you're in that vertical line with the arm lengthening away. Beautiful. And you can actually hold it up here quite a while, but we won't. And then you're freeing the elbow. Again, you're freeing the wrist out. And it's that lengthening that takes the arm down. And then as you find that full length, it will just, the weight of the thumb and the fingers will just allow it to slide in. Beautiful. Now we're going to do this, the two together. So let me face you as we do that. Excuse me. Again in this narrow position. So we'll do the two together now, yeah? So again, we're thinking about opening the palm and lengthening the fingers. And then that engages with that sliding joint. It's only the lower part of the arm to open up the palms. You're freeing the wrist as they come up. Then they're lengthening round and resting down. Again, the rotation. Here the wrist comes into play. Lovely, lengthening up with the fingers a little bit more. That's it, and dropping down. That rotation again. Really think of it happening in the elbow before the wrist comes into play, and then really move the fingers up to help the arm come up. Lovely. And then dropping through. Beautiful. That rotation, freeing the wrist, coming up snap into play. Think of those fingers really helping, that's it, lovely, to then rest in front of the eye line. You can see them without lifting their head. Here's the final rotation, really in the elbow joint, opening the palm, then the wrist comes into play, and you're lengthening both arms, finding them fully extended and dropping down the back through to the legs, through to the heels. Beautiful, keeping them up. Of course, this is where we would do the spiral in film 4 from here. But we're just freeing the elbow, again, finding that wrist to lengthen out. It's the fingers that really help guide the arm down to the side and then get their full length before you feel the weight of that thumb and the fingers and that slide back to them resting down by the side. Very good, great. Thank you, that's it. That's film 5.